Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the EGFC Big East Invitational. I'm your caster McCormick. Alongside me is the man, the myth, and the legend, Squid, and we've got another great matchup for you here, boys. It is going to be Xavier going up against St. John's, and this one is going to be one for the ages because Xavier needs to go ahead and take the dubski here, or it will be, well, unfortunately, a 3-3 record for them. Actually, Squid, did they take the win, or did they lose their last game when they were playing off stream?
I think they were playing against DePaul, and they actually lost their last game. So DePaul has been confirmed for top 2, but Brian doesn't care about telling that story. He's out here making a splash, shooting off onto the right side, getting it past both defenders there. Nicely done.
Very nice indeed. Now a 1-0 lead for the side of St. John. Kickoff will go towards the side of Xavier, and now Xavier will have an open goal opportunity, and it is going to be McWhiff who does not go ahead and blow that one. It will be a wide open net, and another goal on target for the side of Xavier, tying things up at 1 apiece. And well, there you go. This has been a theme all day long. Goals right off the rip, 2 here inside the first 14 seconds of the game. And Squid, for Xavier, after coming off a loss to DePaul like that, what is the biggest thing that they need to do? What is their biggest takeaway now playing St. John, a team that has not won yet today?
Honestly, I think they might just make sure that they're playing consistently, because we have seen in the past that they have had a couple of minor issues. So it would be a real shame to see them have significant issues, because they just went against DePaul. Sure, they lost, and sure, DePaul's on the top, but they still managed to bring it all the way to game number 5. Which is an important feat, because like I said, DePaul, they're standing up there far above the rest. So a 3-3 record should not faze Xavier. They know that they can manage that top 2 spot.
It seems like Xavier has hit a hot streak after the first couple of games today, and now another one over towards this right side of the St. John's post. But now, over towards middle map, it is going to be our camp trying to bring this one back down towards the blue side, over towards the right side wall. 50-50 win for him, now pushing it even closer up. Off to the races now, though. Onion slicing and dicing, trying to get it back to the other side, but another 50-50 loss for the side of Xavier is going to allow St. John's to push up and almost get one on goal. Brosif with a save, and now Onion back to Brosif. Brosif trying to make this one work. He's trying to get it into a pass, but unfortunately just doesn't get the right positioning. A ball from his own teammate off the top crossbar. Not going to be able to put it down, and it will be saved over to the right side, now back towards the opposition side. St. John, a great stop, and now a rotation back towards the blue side.
And yet Xavier's probably not done yet, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Brosif setting up the back wall, finding a great piece of real estate down to past the satisfied Onion, and that's how you play the game.
Oh, beautiful touch there, a beautiful score, and well, now a beautiful lead for Xavier as they need to go ahead and take this one to go to 4-3, make their record better, or as good as it can be, before, of course, they play that final match today and try to qualify to make it to the top 2 spots for that single elimination bracket. Onion going to be able to pass it to Brosif on the right side. Now McWhiff trying to get a touch as well. Our camp now a pass in towards middle map. Justin going to be able to touch it up off the backside. One's going to be able to drop down. Justin follows his own miss. Now another one there. Primal going to get cleared out towards middle map, but the pressure still on for the side of St. John's. Xavier can't do much to bring it out of their own half. It's locked in their corner, and now another touch going there. A demo comes through. 2 alive for the side of Xavier. Now a push towards the St. John's side.
Xavier doing a good job on that defense against St. John's. They almost sneak one in right there. But at the same time, St. John's making a decent push out onto the offensive side, doing what they can to try and deal damage while not sacrificing their 3rd man rotation and ensuring that they have somebody back on the defensive end in order to make that play if necessary. Might have another chance right here, but Arcamp getting blocked out. A bit of a double might cause some issues here on the back half.
A great clear there by Primal as there was going to be a 3-on-1 push from the side of Xavier, but he's able to go ahead and clear it out. So again, they do have an ability to recoup here off of McWhiff there. It will now be inside of the blue half once again. Now a wide open net. Can he find the shot? Yes, he can. He whiffs one, but plugs it in another. Mr. Michelin Man, or Frosty the Snowman, or even me, the big Marshmallow Man, coming out of goal there as he scores that one now. 3-1 for the side of Xavier as they continue their reign of terror on the side of St. John.
And that insurance is going to be key for them. Like I mentioned earlier on, St. John they're not doing bad on the offensive side. Definitely looking like a tangible threat. So for Xavier, they want that insurance, and they're going to get a little bit more. Brosif once again assisting Satisfied Onion using that back wall. I'm going to say it again. I'll say it as many times as I have to. Actually, I haven't said it that many times, but an open backboard is always an open net.
Oh, couldn't have said it better myself, and you're right, you haven't really said that much today. But, you know what? I do like that saying.
I do say it rather a lot, and you'll find that that is the case, and this one just went right on through. Primal, off the sidewall, our camp hitting him with a low 5. You know, that's the kind of team play that we need to see, is more low 5s and high 5s. But I don't recall actually seeing any other than that this tournament. I'm suddenly incredibly disappointed.
Also, I am too. Now that you bring that up, I'm actually kind of a little bit sad, but you know what would make me a little bit more happy?
What's that?
Seeing a Game 5. We haven't seen a Game 5 yet all day long on the stream, and we've been suffering. We've been in a drought of not good Rocket League, but great Rocket League. We've had a lot of good matches, but we haven't had that creme de la creme game that puts us over in the edge, but maybe we can get that here inside of this series, or potentially that last series going on today. But now it is going to be a 5-2 lead as Satisfied Onion gets up and puts it down again. He's got himself a hat trick, and he's got 5 shots to go along with it as well. Again, we talk about the shot differential for the side of Xavier. They've got 8-3 over St. John's, but you know, the conversion ratio is, I guess, technically better for the side of St. John's as we speak.
It sure is, but I mean, the conversion ratio, you know, we're just talking about like raw quantity and not necessarily, you know, like optimizing. I think that's yeah, it seems that Xavier does have that advantage. Most obviously, we do not care about efficiency of shots in Rocket League. We just care about who scores more often. But a rather solid lead here in game number 1 should give them a sizable amount of momentum here. And St. John's did just come off with a loss, so there might be a little bit more in their favor, but I think it might be a little bit too late to try and come back in this game. 30 seconds now on the clock, and trailing by 3 is going to be a tall order, no matter which way you slice it.
Oh, tall order indeed, my friend, and now Primal going to be playing a little bit of shadow defense, trying to get that out, and Mick Whiff will not be able to find a touch on that ball, but they still have a significant lead here with the last 15 seconds. I think this one could just be about over, and I believe it will be over. 10 seconds, 3 goals while it's in the orange half for St. John. I just don't think it's possible. Onion's going to be able to get this touch, and it will be put right down to the ground. A great game for the side of Xavier for game number 1, and of course, bringing momentum into game number 2. And I gotta ask you, Squid, in that game, what went wrong for St. John after making that substitution?
After making the substitution, oh boy, well, I have to say, I really feel like our camp actually brings a little bit more to the table as far as his initial appearance goes, but I feel like, you know, St. John's not playing as much defense. Well, not playing as good quality defense as they really need to keep Xavier out, and I really feel like that comes off of, you know, playing against the backboard. We saw 2 easy goals by Xavier just by virtue of no backboard defense for St. John's. So they really got to get somebody up there to defend that when they recognize the ball coming that way. Otherwise, it's just going to turn into a bunch of easy goals against, and that's the last thing that you want in these kinds of spots.
Couldn't have said it better myself, and that is why we love your oh-so-gentle and abrasive analysis. But either way, folks, it will be Xavier on the blue side and St. John on the orange side. And it will be Onion bringing this one up towards middle map right off the rip here. But now, another offensive clear from the middle of the pitch will be for the side of Xavier. And a touch middle map. Flying up high. Brosif not able to find the touch, and it will be right in front of the goal, lingering there for a few seconds. No one really able to make a play, but now in towards middle map. Brosif is there off a spectacular pass from Onion in towards the middle of the field. Of course, as I've said many times before, he completely slices open the defense. And once again, he does it there to find his teammate Brosif for the mid-map pass.
And after 2 players coming out to the corner to try and make that contest, it makes it very difficult for the last man back in order to try and make that defensive play. Obviously, our camp has to choose whether to stay on the goal line or come out to try and stop the passing play at its source. It can be a play call that is almost impossible to make in certain situations, and he just didn't see the right path of action right there, and you can't blame him for that. Not having that second man behind you, it can be a very difficult spot to be in.
Yeah, when you're playing by yourself, not only do you have the opponent trying to mind game you, but you have to be mindful of the second player coming as well, because when they push, they usually are going to push with at least 2, possibly even 3, and it's going to be attack after attack after attack, but nonetheless, I digress. Brosif and the rest of the squad for Xavier now trying to get this out of their half, but it will be an open net now after the demo does come through. Bringing it back the other way, McWiff will try to bring it into the corner, and he will, but they are still jaw locked in the corner. But now, finally being able to bring it back to the opposite side. Xavier have it in the St. John path, but it doesn't last for more than a few seconds. An open net now, but he has to get it past McWiff. Not going to be able to find the shot, and Brosif is there. I couldn't see it through the boom cloud, but somehow they get it cleared and away from the goal. And now Xavier have an opportunity to score.
And a couple of demos is really what made that defense possible. You could see Primal coming in from the left side, trying to rotate back around in to make the play once again, but getting taken out just before he can reach the ball. A really heads-up play by the Xavier defense, making sure that ball didn't make its way through. They maintain that 1-0 lead. They might make it 2-0 here. That shot not quite powerful enough, or is it? It moves out towards center, and Satisfied Onion has no trouble getting that one across the line. It was just dangling right in front of it for him.
It was like a mistletoe. It was just waiting for them to come and peek, and a beautiful kiss from the Onion puts it right in. An absolute gentle yet futile goal. For the side of Xavier, puts them up 2-0. 2 minutes not even gone here inside of game number 2, so there's still a lot of time left for the St. John squad. But as I say that, Onion hits another one, and that's 2 goals on the night, or on the game rather, for him inside of game number 2. And what more could you ask if you're a Xavier fan? Xavier, 3 goals here within the first 2 minutes. That was literally 3 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, and they're trying to get their record up to 4-3. And again, this is a hotly contested number 2 spot for the playoffs. Nepal's just sitting up there. They've already made it, so they don't even need to play any more matches if they didn't want to, but they can play spoiler. Other rosters so far in Xavier. Oh my goodness, they almost got an extra one there. At this point, I mean, extra insurance is always welcome up until about the 1 minute marker for any team. But at this point, it might be a little bit too much to commit everyone to that play, so you can see they're trying to make this 3rd man rotation. They're just trying to make certain that it's always theirs. They're not overcommitting in any way.
McWiff with the last one back. He does go up high and challenge that. If that did go awry, that very well could have been a goal from the side of St. John's, as there was no one back on the side of Xavier. Primal now pushing. McWiff going to be able to get a pass in towards middle map, but Justin is there. Justin could go off the backboard for this, but no, Onion once again able to make that save off the backboard. McWiff, a long, high ball. Onion there for it. Almost is able to put it in off the crossbar, but not able to fall. That would have been a beautiful shot, but no. Still there in front of the goal. Brosif tries to put it in. A defensive try, and it's going to be held. That was beautiful on the defensive side for the side of St. John. I've realized I've said beautiful about 20 times in the past minute.
Well, there's just so many beautiful things to talk about in the corner.
There truly are.
I mean,
just like you. I mean, what?
We'll have this talk later. We'll have this talk later, but it was an outstanding defensive effort by St. John's. Unfortunately, defense is not going to win them games at this point. A nice save here for Justin, but I'm going to have to reiterate what I just said, not even a minute ago. That they're going to need to put a little bit more, they're going to need to spec a couple more points into offense here in order to actually make a significant impact on this game. 65 seconds left on the clock, and they're just now getting pushed out of the offensive half. It might be just about time to call game number 2 as well. Xavier looked to pretty well have this one under control.
Well, he got a couple of opportunities for the side of St. John, yet they have not capitalized at all this game. Another save does come through, but let's take a look at the shots real quick. 4 for St. John's, you know, that's decent. But if you look at the side of Xavier, that's about 16 shots from Xavier, and well, if you're a drinker, that's even a little bit too much for you. As they continue to have their dominant reign here in game number 2. Going into game number 3, it could all very well be over. 40 seconds for 4 goals, averaging about 10 goals, or averaging about 1 goal per 10 seconds, rather, not 10 goals per second. But
that would be something. But, yeah, they continue their reign, and hence why Onion is wearing a silver crown. Throwback to season 1, if anybody remembers that. It's been a long time, but Xavier now up 2 games in this series, unless something happens. But I don't even need to talk about that. Either way, St. John's, again, you know, good defense, but defense is not going to win them the game unless they can put at least one mark on the score sheet.
Double G's in the chat for game number 2. Now at match point, it will be the side of Xavier, trying to close this one out and bring themselves back to a over 400 record at 4-3 and fight for that last playoff spot alongside DePaul. And DePaul, guys, if you guys did not watch the stream earlier, they were incredible. Every single time we watched them, it seemed like it was magic happening amongst the pitch. And the server has went down for maintenance, apparently, so it looks like we're going to have to go ahead and start up a new server, if I'm correct.
Alright, here's what I have to say about this, okay? It would not be a Rocket League production if the server didn't go down for maintenance at least once during the broadcast. This is a verifiable fact. Alright, so whoever wants to tell me otherwise, you are wrong, sir. Or madam. Or I guess you don't necessarily... Yeah, it's 2019. Alright, 2019. Almost 2020, actually. Pretty close to being 2020.
It's like, dude, 2019, I think 94% complete. That's crazy to think about.
You know what? I would check that math, but I really do not care right now. To be perfectly honest, I just want to get into this next match. So, also cast your math, so I probably wouldn't be able to do that anyways.
You know what? You make a good point. You make a very good point. But either way, folks, try to hop back into this one. We will be starting momentarily here for game number 3, and again, it's an opportunity for Xavier to go ahead and close this one out and go to 4-3. I know we said that just a couple of seconds ago, but remember, Xavier on the blue side and St. John on the orange side. And if I had to say one thing to describe this game, well, I'd have to say close yet dominant when need be from the side of Xavier.
Well, the goal differential so far, I believe, is +7 for Xavier. They scored 4 goals in the last match, right?
I believe so.
Right, so they had +3 at the end of game 1 and +4 at the end of game 2, so they are sitting pretty for this game, and they might have a shot right here. Nick With sets it off the backboard for Satisfied Onion. A great bait, taking Arcamp out of the play. Textbook Rocket League.
How many goals have been scored in the first 30 seconds of a game today? Like, I just want to know that.
So
like, that's
many.
a stat that I want to physically be able to have, because I would be willing to say it's around 10 to 12 right now.
It has to be an incredibly high number, I will say.
Has to be double digits at least.
We have not had a single 1-1 overtime or a single 1-0 game on this broadcast.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. In fact, I think we've only ever had 2-2 overtimes, which is strange. You know, it almost feels like, you know, we're just like getting the same footage recycled to us with different cars on the field.
That is probably the best analogy that you could have used in all the time. That's exactly it. And
It's so weird.
I think every single game, the least amount of goals we have had in a game has been 3. Like, for one team. Like, there hasn't been a game where one team hasn't scored more than 3 points.
Alright, but look at this, though. What happens here? Oh, my goodness. You hate to see it. The own goal. Oh, dear. I don't know about that stat, McCormick. I feel like I want to say that you're right.
Have we had any 2-1s today?
Well, no, see, this is the thing. It's like, I want to say that you're right in my heart. But in my heart of hearts, I know that that's just not possible for Rocket League. That is just not a thing that happens. You always get one of those games that ends up being 2-1 or 1-0. But I know that we haven't had any 1-0s. What in the world?
Well, you know, sometimes it's fun to go to the chat, and I just happened to glance over at the chat, and I see here, too easy for Brosif. Can we check who's playing under Brosif? I think it's Squishy Muffins.
I feel like we would notice if that was Squishy Muffins.
I think he's saving something special for us.
Oh, do you think?
I'm a
My
guessing.
body is ready.
My mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes.
I would like to formally resign.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave
my
that.
position.
Hey, it's been fun, guys. I'll see you later.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well. let's we can have that chat later, along with the other chat.
Oh, where you're beautiful.
To have, yeah, that one. We'll have that chat later too. But as it stands right now, Xavier looking to move on to 4-3 on their record. Looking for insurance. A nice side bouncer will go wide. But we're approaching halftime, a 3-0 lead for Xavier, and they're probably just about ready to try playing the box maneuver, which essentially amounts to just keeping the opponents in a box on their half.
Quite self-explanatory, I would seem.
Yes, not the first thing that I've said that's been rather self-explanatory so far today. Nice shot here, Justin, reading off the back wall past Jamar Camp. We'll hopefully get St. John's back in this game.
Hopefully is it's a heavy term after what is it now? It's a 9-goal differential between the two teams, +9 for Xavier. Because you said what? It was 7 after the first, yeah, so it'd be 9 then. 9-goal differential, and I would love to say that St. John could make this comeback, and I really want to watch them make this comeback, but I gotta see it to believe it first. But you know what? We're rooting for this game to go on just a tad bit longer, so maybe even pushing it to a Game 5 would be great. But St. John looking to play spoiler.
Been looking to play spoiler for some time. They've been unable to do so thus far in this tournament, however. Might get their first shots here if they can come back from this deficit, but a shot here from Satisfied Onion doesn't actually go through. Broseph coming in, he gets cut off by McWitt. Bit of a miscommunication there by Xavier, but thankfully it has not had a significant impact on their ability to play offense here. They will maintain possession of the ball as it approaches the corner here. 90 seconds left on the clock, and again, just continuing with that box maneuver I think I was talking about.
Well, it's going to be the side of St. John trying to bring it back down towards the blue half, but now a shot on target. Justin's not going to be there, trying to put that one on. Not going to happen, but McWiff almost is there for it, now bringing it back towards the other side. The mid-pitch being controlled by the side of Xavier, but not for long, as it is going to be the side of St. John, pushing up and trying to get into the blue half. Now a ceiling shot pass, not going to happen. It is going to be the side of Xavier. Now a minute left on the clock, a 2-goal lead. This one could be all but over. Can the dagger be scored, or will St. John's bring this ball back down towards the other half and force a game number 4?
I mean, as long as there's still time on the clock, if they can score that 1 goal that they need, there can be hope. Justin losing that 50-50 though. Broseph touching to center towards his teammate McWiff will make contact here, approaching the final 30 seconds rather rapidly. That's the buzzer. Onion tossing to the corner. Justin downfield. It's touched by Arcam, but it's not on target. They're gonna have to see if they can force this one through. A great drop into center, just the shot on, and what a diving save to keep it away. You can tell Xavier does not even want to take a chance on losing this game. Final 10 seconds now into the orange half. Things looking bleak here for St. John's. The Satisfied Onion puts it out to his own corner. Justin running interference, but there is no time left. Clock at 0. Xavier with the full 3-0 sweep over St. John's to move their record to 4-3.
Handing out the broomsticks, it's time for spring cleaning. And that is going to be Xavier taking it, like you said, 3-1 in a 3-0 fashion. And that, unfortunately, folks, is going to bring us to what is going to be the final game for the stream coming up next. I know.
It's so sad.
I know.
So
I'm crying
sad.
too, guys.
But we are going to be taking a short break right before that last match. If you have any popcorn left, then feel free to grab it. St. John's coming up versus Villanova for our last match of the day.
I want to go.
But if we could stop McCormill from crying, we can. You want to go get ice cream afterwards? Will it make you feel better?
Yeah.
All right. So, we'll see you after this short break with ice cream. Be there or be square.